Hey Stitchy friends, I am Lynn with Those Missing Stitches. This is my Flosstube number 7 on my channel all about cross stitch and cross stitchy goodness. Today is Saturday, July 1st, and I am coming to you with a big video today with lots of plans of lots of stuff to show you. I have a mid-year WIP-Parade, I have a haul, I have some new starts and some planned new starts from my haul. I have a giveaway winner from my last video, and I have some new giveaways to announce, and I have a very big announcement to share with you. And I'm gonna do stuff a little bit out of order because I have so much to show you, and I really want to start with the big announcement. So first, if you've been with me for a while or watched some of my previous videos, I had talked about kind of wanting to dabble into some fabric dyeing, and then I started doing it. And then my later videos, I started to talk about I've done a lot of dyeing. So these last couple of months, I actually decided I like it so much, I really want to share it with everybody else. And I just love playing with the colors. I love playing with the fabric. I love seeing how things are coming out. So I have decided to open up an Etsy store. It is Those Missing Stitches on Etsy, and I will put a link down below if you'd like to go check it out. I do have it open, and I do have 8 current colors available and plan to do more in the future. I brought a couple to actually show you, and these are 2 of my favorite. All of my fabrics are actually named after or inspired by and named after book characters. So this one is one of my favorites. It's actually called Darling David. This is a Lugana, and it's kind of a golden yellowy tan. Definitely one of my favorites of everything I've done so far. And I do offer Aidas, Luganas, and linens in different stitch counts if you want to check it out. That is Darling David. This one is Marvelous Meg. Oh, and the Darling David is after David Copperfield from Charles Dickens. I should mention that. This one is Marvelous Meg after Meg March from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is actually a linen, a 32 count linen. I do have 36 and 40 as well. So pretty. Just lots of blues and light blues. It's showing up a little darker on video than it is in real life, but not too bad. You can definitely see the blues. So that's 2 of the 8 I have. So there's plenty of other options. I have some grays and some other blues and a purple and a pink, and just have so many plans to do so many other things. I'm absolutely obsessed. I just love it. I'm having so much fun. It's a lot of work too, but I'm having so much fun, and I want like one of everything for my stash too, and have some plans for stuff that I want to start on the colors that I've already done. So super excited to get that open and to share that with all of you if it's something you're interested in. I would like to give away 2 pieces as giveaways. So if you would like to enter the giveaway, I will let you choose the color and the fabric that you would like in a fat quarter cut. You will have to check out, I mean, you can either pick Darling David or Marvelous Meg if that's one of the colors that you like, but feel free to check out the Etsy for other color options too. So to enter the giveaway, go ahead and put in a comment fabric, and I will pick 2 people before my next video and send you to be winners, and you can just send me an email of the fabric and the color of your choice, and I will send that out to you. So thank you everybody for all of your encouragement, and thank you if you go check out the store. I'd love any feedback or any sort of wish list items, some colors you'd like to see me try, some fabrics you'd like to see me carry maybe in the future. I'm kind of just giving this a try and see how it goes, and see if it's something I'm interested in expanding or doing more of, or just doing as a side hustle for a hobby and happening to share this with the world, and maybe do more opportunities for giveaways on this channel as well. So thank you everybody. I hope you like it, and I hope it's something that if you're interested, you let me know what your thoughts are. So yay. So that was my big announcement. So it is July. It is the middle of the year. I've only been doing this channel for a couple of months, so there's a lot of stuff I haven't shared with you that I've worked on over the years. So I thought I'd throw in a mid-year WIP-Parade like a lot of other people are doing on YouTube now. I'm gonna kind of do things in maybe a different order than I normally would do. I think I'm going to start with the stuff that I have worked on in the last 2 weeks since my last video, so you can see updates. And then I'll go through the stuff that you've seen before, but I haven't necessarily worked on since my last video, so I probably won't put a picture of here's where I was last time. I'll just show you where it's at. And then I will show you the stuff that I have started but haven't shown you on the videos before. So let's get started. So first is, of course, my focus piece, the Grand Library. The artwork is by Amy Stewart, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching this on 18 count Easy Guide Ada, 2/1 full cross. Here's where I was last time in the video a couple of weeks ago. I have been working on this, or I try to work on it every day, but I don't necessarily get to it every day. Definitely less than I have been in the past because I'm spending so much time doing other things in fabric dyeing. So, but I am making progress. Here's where I am now. I am working 2-page sections, but I'm working a little further down than this 2-page section cuts off about right here. But I'm working a little further down so that I can finish this shelf right here. And this is the romance shelf. You can see the door over here. There's a stairway. Here's the archway. This is a piano and like a gift box. And then I think this is going to become the romance. You can kind of see the E starting over there. The romance title for the shelf. So since my last video, I've put in 3,428 stitches. And in total on this piece, I have done 171,054 stitches for 42.47%. So there is Grand Library. Making progress ever so slowly. But this is definitely my baby and the one that I will finish eventually. May take a couple years, but I will finish it. Okay, next is one that I started in June. This is The Haunted Library by Lola Crow. I am stitching this on 18 count Fiber on a Whim Milk and Honey 2/1 full cross. Here's where I was last time in the last video. I just started this as part of a stitch along challenge for my local Stitchy group, and I did go to the Stitchy group meetup, my first ever, that they had a couple weeks ago, and it was very fun. I encourage you, if you do have a local group, go to the meetups. It's so fun. It's so nice. Like, it is like walking into a room of people, like friends you never knew you had. So it was no problem just sitting down and chatting with people. So many beautiful things being worked on and so many beautiful fabrics and patterns, and I want it all. So this is the Haunted Library. This is where I am now. I did work on it during that Stitchy meetup, and I've done a little bit since then. So really like working on this one. It's an easy stitch, so I enjoy actually sitting down and working on this one. Okay, next is Kingdom of Books by Andriana. I am stitching this one on 18 count nutmeg from My Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy. I'm doing 2/1 full cross. Here's where I was last time working on that second book, the red book. And here is where I am now. I filled in some of the brown and some of the white, I believe. Not too much. I've done 244 stitches since my last video. In total on this one, I am at 5,090 stitches for 7.42%. Next is Night Circus Lovely number 7. The artist is Jessica Jackson and is charted by the Sewing Shop Inc. I'm stitching this one on 25 count Easy Guide Lugana 3/1 tent stitch. I'm still really liking the 3/1 on 25 count. It's a super full coverage, or like thick coverage, and sometimes it's a little thick to get through, but I really like it. Here's where I was last time. I am working this one extreme cross country, and now I've done all the 310, and now I'm working on the 939. Here's where I am now. And I'm continuing to work in the hair. Some of those empty spots are filling in, and then some around the outside up here and on the inside. since my last video, I have done 432 stitches, and in total on this whole piece, I have done 23,386 stitches for 14.69%. Next, I have Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. I am stitching this one on 25 count, Silvery Moon, Lugana, 1/1 full cross. Here's where I was in the last video. Work on this a little bit at a time. So since the last video, I've only put in 318 stitches. Here's where I am now. I finished, I think, the light blue on the second flower, and then starting to work on the dark blue down. I realized over here, I am off a stitch in this little tiny piece right here. It should be one more over, but I figured I'd stitch the rest of it. I can't even tell. So I'm okay just leaving it. I think it's fine. I almost forgot I even discovered that until I started stitching again. I went, oh yeah, it's to the side and it's not even, but it's okay. It's only one stitch off, so not too bad. Puts my personal touch on it, right? Okay, next is, this was a restart for me. I had originally started it on 18 count, and I wasn't really into the 18 count full cross anymore. It's The Perfect Love I Never Had by Adrienne Borda. It's charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I restarted it on 25 count, 3/1 tent stitch, and worked on it since my last video. I have done an additional 1,693 stitches. I'm working in that eye, and oh my goodness, isn't she so pretty? So in total, since I restarted this, I have done 2,279 stitches for 4.69%. Kind of creepy and kind of cool to have somebody staring back at you when you're working on your art. I highly recommend it. Next is something I started in May as part of Mania, and it is for I worked on it on the 22nd. It's a 2x2 on 22 Sal. This is sampler 198 by 2x2 Stitch Art. Here's where I was last time. I started it on May 22nd, picked it up again on June 22nd, and here's where I am now. I have done an additional, let's see, 272 stitches. I'm stitching this one on a white, 18 count white opalescent with a teal DMC. Kind of wish I'd gone with the silk, and I may restart this at some point with the silk, or just continue with this one and do a different 2x2 with silk fibers. But for now, I'm continuing with this color. Okay. Next is one that kind of makes me sad. So I started this one in May as well. This is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. I had started this on 18 count fiber on a whim cappuccino, and when I had started it, I even held up the Classic Colorworks fibers, and there was eggshell is one of the colors that's in there. I worked a little, well, let me first show you. Here's where I was last time. I had done a little bit around the window, and then I did one more day on it. Here's where I am now. I continued with the eggshell working in the fence, and on video it's making it look a little more contrasty than it is. When I look at it in person, it is exactly the color of the fabric. And as I was doing it, I'm like, well, it's no big deal. Like, it's just the window and it's just the fence. This gray that's in the roof around it will fill in and I'll be able to tell the fencing. And then looking at the rest of the pattern in the window, there's some trees that are of this color. There's some other elements, and I just thought, I don't want to lose that detail. So this is a gorgeous fabric. There's still a big piece of it, so I'm still sure I'll use this on something else, but I think I'm going to restart this on something that's a little more contrasty with the colors that are in the threads. So I'm sad, but I'm not too far along that restarting it isn't like killing me. So that one's going away for a little bit, and I have to pick another fabric. I will probably dye something to whatever color I want. I do have 2 new starts to share with you. One of them I talked about in my last video. It is for a hashtag and a kind of community event to help support another Stitchy member of the community, and its hashtag is Stitch for Sage. She is actually dealing with and battling cancer and went through a major surgery recently, so a lot of the Stitchy community got together and said, let's go support Sage and show our support for Sage, buy some of her patterns, which are from Night Spirit Studio. That's who she, her shop on Etsy, and who her patterns are named under. So I did start, this is Cluttered Coffin by Night Spirit Studio. I started on 18 count black Ada, and I'm doing it 2/1 full cross. I got 240 stitches in, and here is where I'm at, doing the outside of the coffin. Kind of interesting working on black Ada again. Not my favorite, but these stitches are definitely showing up, and it's not a ton of stitches altogether, so it's, I love the picture, so I'm excited to actually see this finished, and so I will continue to work on that. And what I've heard, Sage is home recovering from a recent surgery, so I'm super thankful to hear that she's doing well. My next new start, I went a little Halloween pattern crazy with my haul. I love Halloween, and I purchased a bunch of patterns, and one of them was Trick or Treat by the Drawn Thread. Really drawn to a lot of the Drawn Thread, I guess, pun intended. So I did start this one. Somebody was working on it in the Stitchy group. I don't think they were there at the meetup, but they posted it on the Facebook group, and it looks so pretty. I decided to start it right away, like the next day after the Stitchy group. So I am doing this on Fiber on a Whim. No, not Fiber on a Whim. This is 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. And this is how far I've gotten. I am using the called for Dinky Dice threads, and such a fun stitch, just super quick. I started to go through this and realized, like, I have so many full coverage pieces and so little that I've ever actually finished. I need to do more like this. I want to do more like this. I want to do more samplers. I want to do more things that I can actually finish and display. Love Halloween, so very excited to get this one done and get it displayed in my house. It is so pretty. I have a couple of other Drawn Threads patterns in my haul, and I'm excited to start it and buy more and have a whole rotating series of like their welcome signs and everything. So this is Trick or Treat. Gonna finish this one before Halloween, if not in the next couple weeks. Yay. So that was it for the progress I've made on items since my last video. Now I'm going to go into the rest of my WIP-Parade, and my next group is the stuff that I've shown you before on past videos, but didn't work on in the last 2 weeks, so there's no progress. I will just show you the picture of what the finished piece looks like and show you where I'm at and try to give you a stitch count. So the first one I'm going to show you is a stitching shelf. This is by Amy Stewart. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm working on this one on 28 count Easy Guide Lugana 2/1 10 stitch. Here is where I'm at. This one I have done 18,227 stitches for 4.85%. This is the regular size, regular color version of this chart. Okay, next is A Farewell to Anger. The artist is Leonid Afremov and is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I have done a total of 6,398 stitches for 2.48%. I'm also stitching this one on 28 count Easy Guide Lugana 2/1 10 stitch. That is A Farewell to Anger. Next, I'm going to try to get through these faster. This is going to be a really long video. Next is The Night We Broke the Moon. Artist is Adrienne Borda. It's charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I am stitching this one in 28 count Easy Guide Lugana 2/1 10 stitch. Here is where I'm at. This is a total of 3,201 stitches for 1.65%. Next is One that I also started for Mania. This is Snow by Maxine Gadd. And I am stitching this one on 25 count easy guide Lugana 2/110 stitch. Here's where I'm at. This is all done in May. This is 3,554 stitches for 1.98%. Okay, next is Villains Montage that I put together of different Villains charts from Abby Sue Designs. I'm stitching this one on 25 count Stormy Night Lugana 1/1 full cross. Here's where I'm at. No progress since the last time, but I did import the individual Maleficent pattern into Pattern Keeper to at least be able to mark off my stitches. And I am at 863 stitches. I just don't know percentage-wise how much that is of all of the patterns put together. Next is, this is Gentle Breeze London. The artist is Isabella Karlowitz. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm stitching this on 25 count easy guide Lugana 2/110 stitch. Here's where I'm at. Love these Isabella Karlowitz patterns with like all of the neutral colors and just very, very pretty. The total I've done in this one is 2,390 stitches for 0.81%. Next, it was also a Mania start. This was a Carolyn Manning Designs old flannel shirt. Reminds me of my grandpa and the flannel shirts that he used to wear. This is an 18 count 2/1 full cross. Here is where I'm at. This is a total of 1,105 stitches for 29.7%. If you just take the 1/4 section, I was separating them individually and just doing the 1/4 of the small. So this is just the 1/4 piece of that I am at 29.7%. Okay, so that is it for the stuff that I've shown you before. Now I'm going to take a little pause so I can rearrange because I have stuff to show you that I've never shown you before that is part of my WIPs, and a couple of 2 pieces that I've finished before. They're fully finished them a long time ago, but have never shown you, so I want to share those with you. So hold on for just 1 minute. Okay, I'm back, and first I'm going to show you the 2 pieces that I have that I've finished in the past. Not fully framed or anything, they're just fully finished, and I'm not really sure what I intend to do with them, if anything. It was just fun to work on and fun to finish. First one is, I'd never heard of blackwork before until I was like searching around on Etsy and on the internet. So about 1.5 years ago, I picked up a couple of blackwork patterns from Peppermint Purple. And this is Study in Lavender. I did not do this one in lavender. Here you can see that a little better. I ended up doing it in a teal color. And I think I did this on 18 count. Just a regular white Aida. Here is the finished piece. This one I may frame because it goes with the colors in my office. So I may frame this one and put it up in here. That is blackwork. It only took me a couple days, so it's kind of fun to work on and get something finished and quickly. So if you're interested in blackwork, Peppermint Purple is a really good website for that. My other piece that I finished, my only full coverage that I ever finished, and I finished it while I was on maternity leave and on bed rest before my son was born. So this is a Dimensions kit called Balloon Glow. There's the picture. And here is the finished piece. Only thing, full coverage piece I've ever finished in my whole life in 30 plus years of stitching. Still sitting in a bag. Finished it 11 years ago. In a drawer. But that's okay. Okay, so those are my only finishes ever. I did have the one that I showed a couple videos ago that was not a full coverage. It was the Harry Potter piece. I'll put a picture up here that I gifted to my son's teacher for the end of the school year. She has a Harry Potter themed classroom, so I put her name on it and framed it and gave it to her for the end of the year gift. Okay, so now I'm going to get into all of the pieces I've started in the last 30 plus years and I've never finished. I'm realizing I'm a serial starter or even like a serial halfwayer and get like some stitches into a lot of stuff and then move on to something else and don't always come back to it. So it's kind of fun to go through some of this and see some of it and say like, oh, that's really pretty and I got pretty far, so maybe I should just sit down and finish it. So I may put some of these back into the rotation, even if it's just like one a month or something, just throw it in the rotation. So first was actually the first pattern when I was starting to realize what's out there on the internet and what's on there on YouTube and the patterns that are out there that are available. And there's this world outside these dimensions kits that I never knew about. I watched this video series on full coverage patterns by Teresa Little Stitcher. And one of the patterns that she showed from Heaven and Earth Designs was a Faces of Fairy pattern that she'd done, the first one that she had done, and she had done it on 18 count. She had done, it was her first full coverage piece, and she showed it, and I went, oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to give it a try. So this is Faces of Fairy by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's the first one that I picked up from Heaven and Earth Designs and started it and loved it right away, and now I'm obsessed with everything Heaven and Earth Designs, and obviously I've started a lot more. So here's how far I got. Haven't picked it up again in quite some time, probably at least a year since I started the Grand Library, I know. This so far I've done 14,215 stitches for 28.08%. This was also the first pattern I imported into Pattern Keeper and started using Pattern Keeper, and now I'm obsessed with that too, and it's hard to live without it. So that is Faces of Fairy 193. My next piece is another Isabella Karlowitz piece. It is Together in Paris. This is also charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm doing this one on 25 count Easy Guide Lugana, 2/110 stitch. It's kind of a mini start. I have done 1,272 stitches for 0.58%, and I kind of put this one aside once Together in Paris was released. Sorry, once Gentle Breeze London was released. This is Together in Paris. Because I really liked the pinks and kind of the other colors in Gentle Breeze London. So I might alternate between these two because this is a little more neutral up here where Gentle Breeze London is a little darker neutrals. But we'll see. May come back into the rotation. The next piece that I've started is The Avenger. The artist is Ann Stokes, and it's charted by Thread Geeks. I started this one on 18 count Easy Grid Ada, 2/1 full cross. And this is how far I've gotten. Just doing the black. I have done 2,524 stitches for 1.58%. Okay. Everything else from here on out is kits, and almost all of them, I think all of them except one is a Dimensions kit. So this is the only world I knew for almost my entire cross stitch hobby until the last couple years. So there's a lot that I've started and haven't finished, obviously, and now I've moved on. I don't know that I ever will on some of these just because I'm so hooked into like Pattern Keeper and these other full coverage pieces, and there's so many other things that I want to start, and non-full coverage pieces and samplers, and just so much I want to do. We'll see if I continue with these, but for now I still have them. So first is Afternoon in Province. It's two actual separate pieces, and I started on the one with the bike. I don't know what happened, but I spilled something on it. So this is my progress so far. And there's a spill down here, but pretty color, so I may restart this one, and it's kind of small. So, and there's the two pieces that are small enough I may restart them on a different piece of fabric. Next is Dimensions Gold Collection Japanese Garden. Here is what the finished picture will look like. And then here is how far I've gotten on that one. I have like little thread pieces everywhere. We find them in our shoes and stuff too. That is Japanese Garden. Okay, next is, this is funny because my mom my mom loves butterflies, and she just asked me yesterday, have you done any butterfly pieces? And I said no. And then I'm going through the kits today and I have two. So this is one of them, Brilliant Butterfly Celebration. It's a Dimensions Gold. Don't even remember starting this, obviously. And now I have two butterfly pieces. So there's this one. I've gotten a lot further on this than I would realize, especially not remembering ever doing a butterfly piece. It's so close. I will probably finish it. And my mom loves butterflies. I imagine I started it to give to her at some point. Don't look, Mom. But here's your surprise. Future gift, maybe eventually. Next is a Dimensions kit, Garden Shed Snowman. Started this one a couple years ago, fairly recently, probably my most recent Dimensions that I've started. And here is how far I got. I think this is the right way. I don't even know. The door. Yes, and then the window, like, or the, whatever that is, the piece of wood coming out from the door. Next is Aurora Cabin. And this one I've gotten pretty far on, but I'm having a little trouble because I'm going extreme cross country. As I'm getting into the trees, there's so many different colors of blue, and it's a paper pattern. I'm having trouble keeping track, so I kind of put this one aside. But I have gotten pretty far on it. I may try to import it in Pattern Keeper or get a working copy so that I can like work out what I've already done. Look at those trees. There's so many blues, and there's more blues to work in. Darks, mediums, and lights. So I think I might do a working copy and mark it off if I can't get it to work in Pattern Keeper, so I can continue to work on this one. Next is Peaceful Silhouette. This one I bought because my husband's a big fisherman, and my husband and my son go fishing a lot together all the time. It reminds me of them. So a fishing silhouette, also Dimensions. And here is what I have done so far. Lots of browns, lots of patches of colors, all in different browns and neutrals. I think that's why I haven't done a ton on it. Just needed something different, more colorful. So speaking of more colorful, here is Paris Market. This one I like so much, I did a bunch of it and then was very, very far off and realized I was too far off and had used that as references for other things that other colors got far off that I needed to restart it. So I did restart it. Here's how far I've gotten on the restart, and I am off again. So I think I might, and I'm not too far into it, this restart one, that I think I might restart it on a gridded fabric, because I am just having trouble keeping track, even with these, you know, count 100 times, and I'm still off a little bit. I think I can save it because I'm only off by one up here somewhere, but I haven't picked it up in a couple of years, so I think I might restart it on grid and be more motivated to work on that. Next is Wind Moon Fairy. So pretty. Lots of blues. I love the blues. This is one I started a couple years ago too, more recently. Probably right before the snowman one. And I worked on it pretty consistently and actually monogamously for a while. And this is how far I got. Working extreme cross country, by color. Typically just pick like a color that's next to something I've already worked on, so I have a frame of reference for counting. Still pretty. Plan to finish that one at some point. I'm not sure about, there's a whole, like it's all background, so I may just leave the background and leave it blue, just so I can get her done. Next is Elegance of the Orient, Dimensions Gold. This one I think I started like 20 plus years ago. Pretty far on that one too. I have very little left to do. I should just finish this one. I really just have to like have some fill in here and in her face and the bird. And then I think it's back stitching and I'm done. Sitting for 20 years. But that's me. Next is Alan Maley's Gracious Era. Love the Victorian kind of theme stuff and buildings. I seem to gravitate towards that. So this one I got pretty far on too. Again, maybe like a 3/4 or so little left to do. I should just finish it. I think I might be off on this one too, but I don't even know where. So I could probably fib it and get it finished. I've done so much of that already. It seems a shame to not finish it. My next one is Winter Ride. This is one that my son gave me for Christmas this last year. So I did have like a tiny mini start. I took it with me one day when I went to pick him up from school and I was a little early. So I did start on this one. That's my big start. Working on the trees in the back of the truck. Whoa. That's it. Yay, big start. Next is Toy Shelf Birth Record. I imagine I started this for a friend, or maybe I think I started this for my sister who was pregnant, and my niece is about to turn 16. So that tells you how long it's been sitting in the drawer. Again, almost done with that one. Probably just need to do the back stitching. And I think it looks like fill in a little, maybe in the ribbon. And could easily be a gift. Maybe even be a gift for my niece's child if she ever has kids in the future. Next is Sugar Skull. This is by Diane Arthurs. And this is how far I've gotten on that one. Really like Halloween and Day of the Dead stuff, so I was excited to get that one. And my other butterfly piece that I had no idea I was doing, Butterfly Vignette by Dimensions Gold. And this is how far I've gotten on that one. This is another small, so I think I picked it up just to have a small to work on that would be manageable to finish. Maybe I will someday. Probably another planned gift for my mom. Don't look, Mom. The next one I like so much, apparently I bought it twice and started it twice and got about the same amount done on both of them. This is, what's it called? This is by Artiste, my only non-Dimensions Gold kit. It's called Merry Christmas. And this is slightly further along than the other one I started. This is how far I've gotten on this one. So, Merry Christmas. My last one to show you is Twilight Silhouette. This is Dimensions as well. And this is how far I've gotten on this one. Pretty far. It looks pretty good on camera, but in person, I think this might be a 14 count, and it's a lot of tent stitch. And it's just not as full of a coverage as I would hope. Let's see if I can bring it. Yeah. So especially in some of those lighter colors, there's just so much of the fabric showing through. I'm not sure I'll ever finish this. It's still already pretty pattern, so I might keep the pattern and start it on a smaller count with thicker thread. So that is it for my entire WIP-Parade and everything I've ever started or done. There was another piece that I had almost finished at one point, but it got ruined after all my many moves in the last 20 plus years that I had to get rid of it. So that is it for everything that I have to show you. My next part that I want to show you is my haul. So I went a little pattern crazy, Halloween pattern crazy. Let me show you. I did buy Trick or Treat by the Drawn Thread, and I started that one. I have some more things I bought that I plan to start that include Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. A lot of people have started this as a stitch along or start along for StitchCon. I also purchased, I got this from 123 Stitch, and I got the threads, the called for threads that go with it. So I do think I plan to do this as a new start in July, which is my birthday month. My birthday's in a couple of days, so this will probably be my new start for my birthday. My next pattern that I got is another drawn thread. It's Welcome Halloween, and they have a couple of different welcome signs. That there's one for, I think, Christmas and one for just autumn in general, that I think I will buy this series and have this in my open entryway and switch them out for the different seasons. Really love working on Trick or Treat, so I will potentially start this one. Probably not until I'm done with Trick or Treat, though. Okay, next pattern that I got is All Hallows Eve Sampler. This is by Joan Elliott Designs. And I actually got this delivered. I ordered it and I got it delivered the day before I went to the Stitchy Group meetup. And there's a brag table at the Stitchy Group meetup, and somebody had this finished on this gray fabric, and it was framed and so beautiful in person. They've done it on 25 count, 1/1 full cross that I took a picture, and I will try to put a picture in here if I got a good picture of it. But it's so cool to see it in person, and it looks so much prettier than even like any sort of piece of paper, like a lot of stuff. It's so much more fabulous in person that I definitely want to start that one. The next pattern I got is the Prairie Schooler Hocus Pocus. Love the Prairie Schooler stuff and Halloween again. I got another one by the Prairie Schooler, Bump in the Night. Fairly similar and could be like a series together. Then I got Whispered by the Wind Harbingers. They're little houses, and they have a series of like houses and graveyards and scary fences, and love all that spooky Halloween stuff. And I figured these are small enough, they might be pretty easy stitches. Then I also got Haunted House Sampler by Twin Peaks Primitive. Another Halloween one. My last thing that I got in my recent haul is some silks by Silks for You. This is actually the silks that the Virginia Stitcher is using on Cirque de Caro by Ink Circles, and I'd shown that I'd purchased the pattern a couple of videos ago, and she's doing this particular pattern with these silks, and it's just looking so gorgeous. This may be another one of my July starts. Here is the actual threads, these blues and purples. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. So pretty. And it's looking, if you want to check out the Virginia Stitcher, she's got it, I think, on her last video, how it's coming out on that pattern. So I would definitely inspired to start this one with these silks. So pretty. So last but not least, I have the giveaway that I had from my last video. This is a Parisian gray linen on 30 count that I'd purchased as the recommended fabric for Kringles. And it is a beautiful color. I just couldn't see on it, so I wanted to give it away and pass it on to somebody that could use it. I did have 19 people comment, and I picked a random YouTube comment picker that picked it for me. The winner is Cross_Stitch Lover. So cross stitch lover, if you could email me at thosemissingstitches@gmail.com with your name and your mailing address, I will get that in the mail to you. And don't forget, I do have the 2 pieces of my dyed fabric to give away. So if you do want to enter the new giveaway for the next video, enter in the comments fabric, and I will enter 2 people and pick 2 people at random for the drawing for that can pick fabric from my shop. So thank you everybody for stopping by and for going through my full WIP-Parade with me, and I hope you go check out my store, and I hope to see you at the next video. I appreciate all the support in the community, and for stopping by and just hanging out with me. See you next time.